Hello, friends, and welcome to my workout room, my creative hub. Here we are with another episode with two more log lines. Again, you will hear or see me scribble or look at my notes a lot because I need to write down some of these ideas to create the log line later. And let's start with a comedy today. Comedy is one of my favorite genres, so I always look for good comedy ideas. So I was driving to work one day recently, and this idea came to mind. I love 90s movies, 90s comedies. Uh, to me, were fantastic. Still some of the most classic ones that I like to go back to and enjoy. Um, and so I was writing and I had this thought, what if Mrs. Doubtfire and Liar Liar, so Mrs. Doubtfire, the movie with Robin Williams, and Liar Liar, the movie with Jim Carrey, we mashed them together. Would that be fun? Um, so the idea is, I suppose, that a lawyer knows that there's something about him, like his personality or the way he's viewed, or just his aura, I want to say, or maybe he has a resting bitch face. Maybe it's a lawyer whose just natural personality isn't that exciting, and maybe he concludes that he's not successful, he's failing, he's not winning any cases, but maybe like the cases he's had, like it's clear he could win, or like that they're innocent and yet his clients are suffering, and I don't know, he realizes that it's me. I bet you anything, if I presented myself as something other than me, someone more friendly, or someone that a jury would naturally gravitate to think how likable, or things like that, more friendly or approachable. If they thought of me that way, I might be more successful. They might just side with my story. Um, what was it? I enjoy competition reality TV shows, uh, like $1 Million Secret, and obviously The Traders. So, where I'm going with this is, when you watch those shows, sometimes, or The Mole, not the recent Mole on Netflix, the one way before, early 2000s or 90s or something. So, uh, for some reason, what people will, when the contestants give us their strategy or the way they think or the way they want to be viewed, a lot of them are always like, "Oh, I'm playing the sweet mom card. They're gonna look at me and think of their mom, and that's how I'm gonna get by or whatever and win all the way till the end." Or I'm gonna play sweet old this, or they hide certain parts of them because they think, if they know I'm a cop, this might not go my way, or they might not trust me, that kind of thing. Um, so uh, that's it. That's the mindset. What if he thinks, if I play this sweet old lady, or if I do this and that, I bet you I would win my cases. I bet you it's me. I'm just not. Um, I was thinking. I can't remember his name. The actor from Breaking Bad. The actor from Malcolm in the Middle. I guess. Oh, I can't remember his name. I haven't seen Malcolm in the Middle, but I believe he plays the father. And then in Breaking Bad, he's the chemist. So I imagine him in here. Not necessarily like cast in the movie, but definitely as the inspiration to come up with this character who could play somebody really unlikable, but also has the likability to him that he could also bring out and portray. That's more effortless. So, um, somebody like that, or somebody balding, or whatever, whatever look it is that would make people feel a little bit more uneasy about. Um, so clearly, this is a world of a little bit more superficialism. But anyway, a lot of contestants think, oh, I'm gonna play the sweet person, or I'm gonna be the southern something, and they'll think I'm so charming. I'll get my way, or something like that. So let's imagine he does believe that it's his personality, his looks, or something isn't gelling, and rather than working on that, he decides he's gonna accept more cases as he's been doing, and then analyze the case, and then create a persona that he believes will be able to tell the story to defend this client and win, rather than himself. And that's where the Mrs. Doubtfire portion comes in. So then he gets, all the prosthetics and wigs and wardrobe thing, and then tries to work on a character type of thing to do that, to sell the story to the jury. Um, so that's the mashup, and so he accepts the cases, analyzes them, um, creates this character persona to sell it to that specific case that he believes that specific case will help, and then creates a division in his or does this new thing. He's now the head of the firm, and this firm is probably just a him. Uh, Creates this whole new firm, and says, "Well, I'm the head, and so I distribute the case. So that's why I look over the cases, and then I will assign you to your lawyer." And that's how he does the. That's how he'll assign himself as the lawyer, but disguised as whatever he believes will sell it, and so he becomes like a also some physical comedy like in Liar Liar and things like that. Um, yeah, that's fun. And so of course there'll be like one old lady character and maybe some eccentric guy like oh I love this character or this person, and I'm not saying it right. I'm not saying it right because neither one of those is what I mean to say. I just can't think of it. But if you guys remember in Friends, the TV show Friends, like the neighbor, it was this man. He was balding and just had hair on. Kind of looked like the guy from Back to the Future, right? The professor. I can't remember names. And also, if you guys remember the movie Ghost, the ghost in the subway that teaches the main character, Patrick Swayze's character, how to move things with fire and anger or passion or whatever it is. That type of character. I want that. I have that vision for that type of character. Um, or like I guess it kind of looks like Beetlejuice as well. I don't know, not the creepy kind, of course. Um, the boy next door, the men next door type, like gentleman look, and maybe the studious or maybe the very very older man with like a cane. Whatever, these lawyers are very emotionally manipulative, so this will fit into that world, and it's really just about selling the story. Sometimes I don't know if these cases are going or um I don't know what's right or wrong in these cases, but they all say like it doesn't matter. You just have to make everybody else believe. Um, so yeah, that's the idea I had. I thought it would be so fun. Uh, that this struggling attorney comes up with this whole scheme about becoming other people just to sell. Is that even not legal? I mean, impersonating or fraud or lying in court. Oh, lying in court is a big deal, huh? Isn't it? Um, Maybe that would be part of the ending in Mrs. Doubtfire. It's one of my favorite films of all time, and that's because of the scene that they don't come back together. She doesn't take him back. She doesn't think what he's doing is fantastic. She's not impressed whatsoever, which is a different kind of comedy or romantic Hollywood ending. It wasn't the Hollywood ending that might have felt better, but the fact that he owned it up to it, and then in the end he did get a TV show out of this new character that he created, and found success again. That was the thing that helped him create a world of his own and find success again. That's fantastic ending. Much better, I believe, than them being back together. But I did not see that coming. Again, I was very young. I'm very young and not yet knowing that I would love storytelling. But that movie was fantastic. So maybe there's something about this here. I mean, that would be with the side characters, I'm sure, or developing the story further. We would get a lot more of what that would look like. But I really enjoyed this idea when I came up with it on the motorcycle. So Mr. DoubtLiar, we're combining. That'll be the working title. Okay, but I have enough, I believe, for a fun logline. Uh, so that's it with this comedy. All right, let's go on to the second one. Any ideas, guys? uh, Second one will be. Let's do something different, something we haven't done yet. Psychological thriller. How about that? Get a new paper. Psychological thriller. Yes. I know I had an idea. Let me check my notes. You, the TV show You. I did like it. The first season, I did watch it. That wouldn't be my type of thing. It's very scary, psychologically um, tough movies to watch or series to watch about serial killers is not my thing. But I do. You know how sometimes, especially as a storyteller, it's not. I don't have to agree, and I don't have to like it, but I can always recognize that there's a good story there somewhere. And a lot of times, depending on the genre, probably wouldn't ever want to sit down for a few months and write the story if I'm really not into it. But it doesn't mean that I don't get ideas for different genres that I wouldn't be interested in. And it doesn't matter and it doesn't mean that I don't recognize that there is something really interesting there, even though I may not want to deep dive into it. I love to come up with a log line for something. Anyway, so let's do psychological thriller. The movie You. So when I watched it, I did recognize how fresh the point of view was, and how fun it is to see it inside of the head of the person and how they think of it and how they justify everything. Um, so of course, I wanna make the worst of the worst. So let's make it. Let's combine. Yeah, I have this idea. Combine like some of the worst into one person. Um, let's do like a Harley Quinn Joker thing. Uh, let's do a female who is like a vixen, psychopath, um, this uh, a serial killer, stalker, torturer, like all of the bad ones, all of the worst ones, you know. Um, and so she's all of the above. She's the dominatrix, vixen, uh, psychopath, really deranged, like madness, and of course like a torturer. Like she finds that fun. She does that for fun, and the stalking, like the chase excites her. You know that kind of like all of the worst into this woman. And then, oh, I love the idea of a serial killer having reformed in like having had his fill, so to speak. I don't know how this goes, but he's decided, maybe he had kids and he decided, no, I'm not willing. I didn't know this before, but now I want this life and I can't have the other life. And all of a sudden, like, it, like, the whatever the need or that thing was that made him want to kill is gone. Like, the priorities have shifted so monumentally that the need to, that impulse there, the impulse to kill is completely gone, because this is way more important now to him. So there was the serial killer a while ago, a long time ago, who retired, as if it's a profession, who retired from killing for fun, whatever reason he would do it. And then, um, but of course, he had his MO and he had his tells. And this psychotic woman um, studied a lot of the other serial killers as well. Consumes a lot of also like true crime or documentaries, whatever. She's really into it. And then one day, maybe they run into each other, and one of those, like, oh, I'm sorry I bumped into you type of moments. And she noticed something about him, and she remembers in one of the documentaries or something, some of the stuff that she saw about these serial killers, some of the shows or some of the news, that she recognizes something about him, and she puts two and two together, and maybe like her stalking nature stalks him for a while for more proof, and realizes this is the guy. She found him, the guy who reformed, the guy whose MO never showed up again. Um, she finds that. So anyway, so she finds him and she decides to kidnap him, and she does, um, and then just for like wants to know what happened, wants to know why he stopped, and wants to get to know him in this, really sick way. Like, she's tied him up, and kind of like maybe even tortures him for fun, and then really just wants to know. And he just says like he had his reasons, and she doesn't really believe it or want to believe it, so she keeps torturing him to get more, until she like really snaps and decides, I no longer want to know. I don't even care anymore. What I want to see is you back. I want to put that impulse back into you. I want to see that, that animal. And that's it. That's the story now. The story is a psychopath woman, serial killer, wants to push all the right buttons. Yes, I'm going to write that down. Wants to push all the right buttons to get the beast or the monster back out of him. Back out of him so he can come out and play. Ooh, okay, hold on. So he can come back out and play. So it's like the bad meets the worst, or the worst. Um, yeah, okay, very cool. See, that's the idea I had. Um, what the bringing the worst of the worst and putting it all into one person, and then having her finding someone. Maybe she looked up to him. Maybe he was kind of the one that she learned the most from, or the one that she might want to emulate at some point. Something like that. Something more personal, I guess. And then she meets him and she kidnaps him, and she goes from wanting to know what happened to wanting him back as he was before he retired, just for fun. She's that sadistic. All right, cool. Yeah, that sounds nuts. That sounds so sick. Um, okay. I think I have enough for just a fun log line. Um, yeah. Monsters come out and play. Well, there it is. I think I have all I need. I have my main characters. I have my backstory, inciting incidents, their goal. Yeah, I have the goals. I have the problem. and it's fun. All right, cool. That'll be it. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for listening. Mr. Doubtliar, comedy. Convinced his low likability is the reason he's failing, a struggling attorney embodies different identities tailored to each case to help him achieve the success he's always wanted. Would you watch or pass? Put it in the comments. Playing with Fire, psychological thriller. A vixen serial killer psychopath stalker uncovers the identity and kidnaps a retired serial killer determined to change his ways, and pushes all the right buttons to make him lose control again. Would you watch or pass? Put it in the comments.